This would take place after the movie, as Cletus wanted one thing. All he wanted was Eddie to be his friend. All he wanted was a friend in life, but he never had that. Carnage didn't really care about him. However, suddenly he would wake up in a new place. His skin was more dilated, pure white. As he looked around, he was shocked to see he was in an alternate realm. As suddenly, something would start to come up, as Carnage would wrap over him, as Cletus would say, "You took everything from me. I'm the reason you even got out of that jail. Yep, without you I would have just died. And she would be safe." Carnage would sigh and say, "Listen, I freed you. I gave you everything. You don't need that dumb girl." As Cletus and Carnage would continue to argue, as Carnage would say, "I made you to what you are. You may have snuffed out a few beings, but I became truly powerful. I was like a god of carnage." As suddenly a little imp would bump into them. As they turned around, the imp would look up nervously. As then Carnage says, "I was talking." As then he would summon an axe and, well, just have an axe time. As Carnage would then start to walk around, Cletus was angry and so was Carnage, but they couldn't do anything. After all, they couldn't hurt each other. Cletus became a lot stronger going to this place, and so did Carnage. And it seems like they were so well bonded that they went to the afterlife together. So there was nothing they can do but cause carnage. They continued to go on their spree, a rampage of destruction. And since Cletus and Carnage didn't really know what to do now, after all, they lost. It's not like Venom's down here. Carnage wanted to get rid of Venom to be the strongest. And, well, Cletus just wanted to go through his wedding, but neither could get what they want now. All they wanted was chaos. All they had and left in their hearts was anger. And after a day full of destruction, Cletus decided to try to find a house. Of course, he didn't really want to pay for one, so he would just find one and take it. If anyone tried to make him pay bills, he would take care of them. As he sat there, nice and comfortable, nice and patient. As one day, though, as he was on a rampage, someone would walk up to him. It was Alastor, as he would say, "Hello there, chap." As Carnage would look at Alastor, and Carnage knew that Alastor can control radio waves and probably make high-frequency sounds, so he was wary of him. Of course, no one really knew about Carnage's weaknesses, so Carnage, all he had to do was play it cool and not try to fight him. After all, he was way more cautious after losing to Eddie. Carnage would say, "What do you want?" "I want a deal. I don't make deals with their overlords. But if you have a favor, all you have to do is ask." Alastor would say, "When the time is right, I want you to fight with me." Carnage would say, "Done. Excellent. Now let's train." "Train? Well, you're gonna have to. I know how to fight." "True, but you don't know how to fight an angel," Alastor would say as he laughed and laughed. "I'll find you when I'm ready." As then Alastor would vanish. Carnage was a bit annoyed with this, but he decided to not let it bother him as he continued his rampage and went back home. However, eventually, another time when he was on a rampage, Alastor would show up and say, "Follow me." Carnage would say, "I don't take orders. Can you please follow me then, chap?" As Carnage said, "Fine," as he followed Alastor to his place, as then suddenly Alastor would throw down a spear and say, "This is what we're going to use." Carnage would then suddenly pick up the spear, as then he ate it. As Alastor, "What are you doing?" As suddenly his hand turned into the material. "I scanned it, so now I can use my body to turn into it. This is the only thing that can destroy an angel, yes. An angelic weapon. Well, it's good that my hands can turn angelic." Alastor said, "Very interesting. Let's test out these abilities, shall we?" Alastor would say. As then Carnage would walk out and begin to test out imps, as Alastor said, "You know, they're a little too weak. Let's test out someone strong, someone powerful." Carnage would say, "Who do you have in mind?" As Alastor would smirk, as then we would cut to Vox. Vox was walking away from the V's tower. Vox had a long days of work, but he was confident that he could rule the city. He was confident that suddenly he would feel a punch. As he turned around, it was Carnage, as Carnage would say, Hello, Fox.
Fox would look at him and say, so you're Carnage, huh? The one who screams and destroys everything in his path. Well, it's very nice to meet you and all, but I don't really think you and I will have spent a lot of time together. Fox would say as he would shoot Carnage with electricity, as Carnage would pretend that affected him, as he would pretend to fall to the floor and begin to shake, as Fox would laugh. You really thought you'd get the upper hand on me? You're pathetic, Carnage. You have barely any powers. What's your powers? You can shapeshift a bit? Big whoop. I have the power of electricity.
As Fox would go on and on and on, how powerful he was, how great he was, how much better he was than Carnage, when Carnage could only think about one thing, put an end to his smug talk. As Carnage would lay there with the electricity being shocked into him, Fox would only continue to laugh, as he laughed more and more, thinking he had the upper hand, when suddenly Carnage would turn his hand into an angelic spear and, well, take care of Vox. As Vox fell to the floor, he looked up at Carnage and said, "What are you?" As Carnage turned back to Cletus Cassidy, and he simply said, "I'm just Carnage." As Carnage would simply stare down and smirk, proud of what he did, proud of what he accomplished, proud that he took down an overlord, as he could do nothing but stand there and look, as suddenly Alastor would walk and say, "Very well done. I think you've earned the right to follow me, to fight with me." As Alastor would say, "You'll know when to fight me," as then he left. Carnage would then sigh, as then he left again to think about himself. As Carnage learned the art of deception, the art of tricking people with his mind, the art of playing with people, playing with their emotions, playing how they feel, and getting inside their head. That is what Carnage learned. Carnage learned to use brain with bronze. As Carnage would actually lay low for a bit, as he started to figure out what he liked, figure out things about him, figure out how this bond works. But eventually he would see on the news that Adam was attacking. As Adam was fighting Alastor, Adam was starting to get the upper hand, just like in canon. As Adam would laugh, "You really thought you could defeat me? You really thought you could?" Suddenly, Adam would feel sharp pain in his back, as Carnage turned one of his hands into an angelic spear. Adam would be able to pull out of it and begin to fight Carnage, as it wasn't deep enough to be a fatal blow. However, it did extremely weaken Adam and put him at a severe disadvantage, as Adam would say, "Who are you?" "We are Carnage," Carnage said. Adam would start to yell obscenities at the top of his lungs as he tried to fight Carnage but couldn't. Carnage was simply just too powerful, and Adam was injured as it was. As then suddenly, Adam would say, "Why are you doing this?" As Carnage would say, "Because this is my playground, and it's not very nice to go into someone's playground and, well, mess up the slide." As then Carnage would, well, grow out his teeth and devour Adam. As then he jumped down. Alastor said, "What are you going to do next?" And Carnage simply smiled and said, "Ring Carnage." And that's going to leave things off. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I really enjoyed making it. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Now, the only reason it's not longer is because I'm really tired right now. I want to go to bed. So I kind of cut the video a bit short, but I hope that's all right. And yeah, I just want to let you know, my vacation is going very well. I am very much enjoying it. I've had a couple bumps here and there, though, like everything, you know. Nothing's perfect. There's always some ugly and the most beautiful things, but overall, this is going really great. I'm not going to lie. And yeah, I've seen like a Roadrunner and many other things, and yeah, I've seen a lot. And I'm so glad I left my little town. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with it. I've grown up in it, but I don't know. It's just nothing beats the feel of a big town. Nothing beats the feel of all the people, all the diversity. Nothing beats the feel of just all the different cultures and just all the more stuff to do. It's just really amazing. I just love that, because in my small town, there's not a lot of different cultures and things. So when I go out to a place that's more cultured, it's very good, you know? And because, you know, we're all different. We all have our own ideas. And yeah, traveling's very nice. I understand if you don't have enough money to travel or something like that, but if you do, I highly recommend that you travel sometime, because you only get one life, and, well, the world's beautiful, and I'm so glad I get to see it. Peace out. I love you all.